Hey guys, welcome to the Trailblazer Talks Podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Hope Wilson. This podcast has been something that I've wanted to do for so long. I've been wanting to do it for probably the last couple of years, and I finally recorded some episodes last fall in 2019, and then life got really busy, things got in the way, and I wasn't able to get the podcast launched. Then my plan was to launch it in 2020, and right when I was getting ready to start work on it again, and I finally had time, then a pandemic hit. So I just trust that God knows when this podcast is supposed to be launched, and it's finally happening. And the heart behind this podcast is to encourage and equip you right where you are to be a trailblazer. We don't have to be famous or have all of this influence in order to be a trailblazer. You can be a trailblazer right where you are. Whether you're working in a corporate job, or whether you're a stay-at-home mom, or whether you are in the food industry or in ministry, whatever it may be, you can be a trailblazer right where you are. We all have some form of influence, and we all have people who are in our lives that we are making a difference for. And I thought about this recently, and it's funny because as many times as I wanted to launch this podcast, the timing just never seemed to be right. And as I was thinking about this recently, I thought about different people and their legacies. I thought about Ravi Zacharias and Billy Graham and all the different people who were pioneers of faith before us, and I thought about their lives and how they came to start out. And really everybody who ever made a difference in the world just started right where they were. And that's what I want to encourage us to do. I want to encourage us to be pioneers of our faith right where we are, to use what we have, to do what we can, to influence those around us by just encouraging them and helping them to truly know God's word. So that's what I hope that you will get out of this podcast. I hope that you will be able to learn more about God, go deeper in your faith, be encouraged to be a trailblazer right where you are, and that maybe it'll spark something in you that you didn't know existed. So let's carry the torch. Let's be the generation that continues to spread the gospel like wildfire. We have the resources and we have the reach to make a big impact. Our generation is actually one of the largest and most tech savvy in all of history. So let's make history. Don't let it stop at the last generation. Let's blaze the trail for generations to come. And as I think of this, there are two verses that always encourage me. In 2 Timothy 4:7, it says, "I fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith." And in Hebrews 12:1, it says, "And let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of our faith." Those two verses always encourage me whenever I'm thinking about being a pioneer of faith and just carrying the torch that God's given us to carry. We all have gifts. We all have talents that God's given us. And the best thing we can do is build a foundation. And that starts with knowing the word. And so that's what I hope to do through this podcast. I hope to help you build that foundation, to discover your gifts and purpose, and to just encourage you and cheer you along right where you're at. And along the way, you'll hear conversations between me and different friends that hopefully encourage you and hopefully stir your faith. And also you'll hear from just me doing different talks each week around different books of the Bible or something that I've been thinking about lately or something I'm learning. But either way, I hope that it fills your cup each and every week and that we can meet right back here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this gives you a little glimpse into what this podcast is all about. I'm excited for all the future episodes, and I hope that you'll come along for the journey. Be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. I hope you have a great week.